So here's Janae Carrington hounding Caitlin Clark, and right before she could even get the chance to defend her, Caitlin just floored her by knocking her off to her own teammate before drilling a wide-open three-pointer afterward. Now, sometime later, Carrington was able to score on Caitlin, and she immediately shushed her to get into her head. But see, right after she did that, Caitlin just absolutely destroyed her, as Simone Biles and Gabby Thomas watched closely.
What does Clark have up her sleeve this time? Oh, she gets it to go. Maybe.
I mean, if you guys remember, Carrington was the same girl who mocked Caitlin for apparently flopping, and the same girl who took shots at Caitlin on social media on multiple occasions. See, this is what you get if you try to bully Caitlin Clark, and literally betting against her is the worst decision you could ever make, cause counting her out would just make you look silly in the end. I mean, here's a classic example of what I'm talking about.
The Fever. Everybody at this company likes to pretend they like Caitlin Clark. Even
Not
though
me.
And let me be clear, I'm talking about Dave Portnoy. But it opened at 1.5, it's up to 3.5. I like the Connecticut Sun minus 3.5 over the Fever.
So after calling him out, Dave Portnoy just put out a $50,000 wager on Caitlin Clark and the Fever to win against the Sun. And in the end, Portnoy made the right decision as he walked away with $122,500 in his pocket.
Here we go again! Number 3 team in the league, Indiana Fever, downs him. And guess what? I'm getting rich doing it. I got the Fever rising. Brandon Walker, you dummy.
Anyway, to have an idea how Caitlin and the Fever upset the 3rd-seeded Connecticut Sun, let's break down the game and see what the fuss is all about. Right off the bat, Caitlin struts her stuff against Carrington as she puts her on skates with a pullback 3. I mean, that triple was so nasty that Carrington's eyelash got knocked out in the process. And see, it wasn't the only thing that got knocked out, cause Caitlin also knocked out the record for most three-pointers made by any rookie in WNBA history by hitting her 86th three-pointer of the season. Now after that, she locates AB on the roll, who then swings it to Lexi Hull for the wide-open corner 3.
Hull buries a 3.
Moments later, Caitlin once again took Carrington to school with this floater right in the middle of the lane.
Thomas here with 2 fouls as Clark gets inside and lays it in.
And to wrap up the first quarter, she threw a nice bounce pass to the cutting Kelsey Mitchell, which resulted in 2 shots. The Fever took the advantage in the opening frame by outscoring the Sun, 33-26, with Caitlin dropping 5 points. Now in the second quarter, the Fever continues to roll to keep the Sun at bay, but it isn't until the 4:17 mark that Caitlin goes to work. I mean, despite fumbling the ball, Cece manages to turn garbage into gold as she finds Lexi Hull, who then drilled the 3-point shot right before the shot clock expired.
Thomas knocks it away. Lexi Hull has to fire, and why not?
Come on.
Then, in the very next possession, she drops Carrington on the floor before splashing the 3-ball.
Wide open, knocks down a triple.
Well, Clark runs,
The Fever established a 4-point margin with 3 minutes left in the quarter, and to extend the lead further, Caitlin hit Lexi Hull with an assist as she spread out for another 3 in transition.
Nice back for Lexi Hull, who buries a 3. Here's Lexi Hull 3 on 2. Hull feeds to Clark. Nice back for Lexi Hull, who buries a 3.
And to end the quarter, Caitlin finds AB off a pick and roll, who then converts the easy 10-footer. That bucket was enough for the Fever to carry a 9-point lead heading to halftime, with Caitlin dropping 10 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. Now, swinging over to the third quarter, Caitlin opened things up with this touchdown pass to Kelsey Mitchell, who leaked in transition.
And Harris off the screen, her shot too strong, and now it's Clark. Launch ahead, Mitchell behind the defense.
And then, she cooked Carrington once again, this time by knocking down a step-back 3 with a hand on her grill.
Clark, step back, hits a 3!
Carrington eventually taunted her right after making a bucket on the other end. But even before she could get back on D, Caitlin prematurely cut her celebration by attacking inside and finishing the tough lay-in.
Oh, she gets it to go. Maybe could have got a foul there too.
Before splitting the double team and dropping the soft floater to close out the third.
Clark splits the double and the floater.
There's the floater that she worked on.
With the score still pretty tight after 30 minutes of play, the game is expected to go down the wire with both teams not giving an inch. Anyway, with this said, Caitlin had other plans in mind though, as she lasers a full-court bullet pass to Lexi Hull right before the Sun defense could set up.
It up there and banks it home to beat the shot clock. Clark launching ahead, and Hull with an answer on the other.
Then she feeds Aaliyah Boston, who grinds her way in the paint to score the deuce.
Inside, deep position. She won't miss from there.
Now, with the game deadlock at 80, the Fever put the ball in the hands of Caitlin, and in a blink of an eye, she just turned on her afterburners as she drove all the way to the cup to give her team a 2-point lead.
By Mitchell.
Clark on the drive. Clark lays it in.
With a chance to tie up the ball game, the Sun executed their play off the timeout. However, it was the Fever's defense that prevailed in the end, as they made the crucial stop to put this game to bed for good.
Run the floor, defend, blow up ball screen action.
Thomas had it knocked away. Good hands back Bentley. It's Fever ball.
When the final buzzer sounded, the Fever came away with the victory, 84-80. Kelsey Mitchell led all Fever in scoring by dropping 23 points on 8 of 14 shooting, while also adding 4 rebounds and 3 assists.
Oh, look at that backdoor. Beautiful. A beautiful setup.
Meanwhile, Caitlin showcased her entire bag once again as she stuffed the stat sheet with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, on 41% shooting from the field. It was another stellar performance coming from the surefire Rookie of the Year. And if we're gonna look back at her numbers recently, Caitlin is actually putting up MVP numbers since the Olympic break, as she averaged 25 points per game to go along with 9 assists and 5 rebounds per outing, which is why it was a no-brainer for the WNBA to recently name her the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Anyway, with that huge win against the 3rd-seeded Sun, that marks their 9th win in their last 10 home games. And it was also Indiana's first win against Connecticut since July 3rd, 2021. Apart from that, the Fever have also won 4 out of the last 5 games since the Olympic break, and are now just a half game back to the Phoenix Mercury for the 6th spot in the playoffs.
You know what time it is? Fever down, bow, bow, bow. Defense and rebounding wins game. Big dub. Shout out to the crowd, they're awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.